All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome into Locker Room Sports Talk Extra. I'm your host here, Big Matt, Locker Room Sports, co-host Diamond Dean. Couldn't make a day. They had a open house and some stuff going on up there where he's at, Chattooga and stuff. So, um, hey, we have drawn near to the end of the regular season for high school football here in the state of Alabama, and there's still football left to play for some teams to jockeying for playoff position still. So we're going to talk about that and look at some of the matchups from around the area and bracket wise. AL preps, you go to AL preps and look at the brackets, and we can start right here from the top if you want to. We'll look at 1A, start right here, and most of these, I guess, for the best of it is kind of, sort of what it is, and some of them are not. And with the news coming out of Coosa Christian, that's going to change some out of region points for other teams. And oh gosh, I'm glad I'm not in charge of trying to go back through that schedule and find, points and non-region opponents. And man, so this is from AHSA website. You go there and find this. This is their region bracket and how they've kind of laid out the region rankings as of right now. To your region 6, that region Coosa's in will be right now. This is what it shows. I'm just telling you. Don't kill me. Southeastern shows to be 1. Faulkville will be 2. Susan Moore is 3. And Cold Springs is 4. So that realigns who plays who and who's, hosting home. And so Southeastern, they were 2 anyway, so they were going to host home anyway. But now Faulkville, instead of having travel round 1, they'll get to host the first round there at Faulkville, and they will match up because they're doing odds and evens. They'll match up with 8. So for news of that, this is just how it appears to me, and I do not work for HSA, and this is just a good old country boy guess. So it seems to be that 1 from Region 6 will play 4 from Region 8. I think I got that right. It looks like Red Bay. So Red Bay would go to Southeastern, and Winston County would be 1 in Region 8, so they would play the 4 from 6, which would be Cold Springs, and then Faulkville would host Lexington, and Decatur Heritage would have Susan Moore. I think that's how it lays out. If I'm wrong, and somebody out there can break it down better than I can, please comment, and I will be glad to look at it together. So that's kind of that, and that's the kind of the news here, and just as me reporting as sports media, that's kind of how it looks from right here. Now the whys and hows and more in depth of that, it would all just be guesses or opinions. So, and I can't speak to none of that truthfully, and that's not how you do news. The way news is supposed to be is you just tell what you know. And we go to HSA website and we give who's ranked 1 through 4, 6 and 8, and where that's at. If you want to know more about reported what happened down there, and go to the state website, and it gives detailed about the goings ons of what happened. And I guess just really my personal opinion, since it's kind of show we do right here locally. I hate it for kids, all involved, from kids that had to forfeit games to kids that, during the season that lost games that they're going to be put as a win now, how that works out. Because number one, I'm for the kids, and I hate that, adults have decisions and kids are affected by those things. And that's just how I say I'm for kids, and I always want the best outcome to come for them. And, honestly, and just being personal, you can pray that something great will come out of this. That's what you pray for. And That's kind of the only personal thing I got about it. I'm a kids fan, number one. That's why I do this. Why I coached for years and helped the community and did the youth cause I think it's important. And I think football is really important. It helps teach a lot of great life lessons. And we'll see what the outcome is later. So God bless all involved. And I hate to know I'd have to go through all those regions and and try to figure out who's where. But I think we got to have an idea. And if you're just joining in, thank you for jumping in on that. And Region 6 will play 8. This is 2A, and how things have kind of fallen to take that situation that's happened there at Coosa, that Southeastern 1 for 2A Region 6, Faulkville 2, so they'll have home games. Susan Moore 3, Cold Springs 4, and like I said, looks like 1 would play the 4, which we know that. So Southeastern would host Red Bay, and Winston County will host Cold Springs, and Faulkville will host Lexington, and Susan Moore will go to Decatur Heritage. And that's the way it appears to me right now. So with that out of the way, let's look at some – I guess we need to talk about some games first, because there's – like I said when we started the show, there's still games out there because of how these points and all that mess that got made with this, and your out-of-region points is counted. Well, now they don't, or how this played out, or now that this team does have a win because of a forfeit or not. So, let's see. We'll just start 1A here. Just to mention a few of these matchups. Some of them are going to be important games for these teams. And let's see here. Woodville at Section. It's a 1-point game here. Looked at Maplesville, Alabama Christian, 1A. Gaston at Otter. Okay. Be a good one. And Cedar Bluff will be traveling to Donahoe. And Spring Garden has Ranburn at home. So you can go out there and support them. And Cherokee County is on their bye. Sandrock will be hosting Whitesboro Christian out here at Sandrock Friday night. That's where I'll be at. And Gales will finish their season up. So that's Decatur Heritage. Decatur Heritage is going to looks like they're going to host Raglan. It'll be an interesting 1A matchup. Collinsville Valley Head. Wow, boy, that's always Coach Willingham and Coach Hammond. All those old guys up there on the mountain. Most of them, like Coach Benefield and them, they've known each other a long time. And what a good job they all do with their programs. And congrats on, it's hard just to win football game in general. It is. It's hard to, especially if you win several games and, so reaching to represent your region, it is a big deal. Even if you're fourth, it's still a big deal to be able to take a group of young men and put them together and get them all facing one direction and marching at the same pace. So just want to shout out to Coach Willingham and Coach Hammond. Two great guys. Really, I just enjoy talking to them, just enjoy shooting the breeze with them before the game. So that'll be over here. It's at Collinsville this year, is it? Yeah, no. Yes, Valley Head will be at Collinsville. Let's see here some more. Brantley and Arrington. That's a game down there. Brantley's moving right along that 1A South down there. We'll look through some of those brackets. I think that'll be a good matchup. Tuscaloosa Academy, I seen them play last week. Boy, that quarterback can throw the football. Man, he just makes it look effortless. I mean, it's like he don't even move his arm forward. It's not like a throw. It's just like it just pops out of his hand. So shout out to him, Tuscaloosa Academy QB. They'll play Bayside Academy. That'll be a good game. Those two relevant programs. Reeltown, our guy from JB, they're going to travel down to Lee Scott Academy. I think that'll be a good game. I think Reeltown looks like they're favoring that game. Red Bay and Phil Campbell. Shows to be a 0 toss-up game right there. Pick 'em. North Sand Mountain be at Susan Moore. Laverne's got a prominent football team. You always hear about them being in the playoffs. Coach, staff, and guys doing do a good job. They'll be at Daleville. Houston Academy and Providence Christian. And Let's see. We'll move up here to 3A. Whitesburg Christian Sandrock. We mentioned that. It shows to be a pick'em game. My computer here. And say Thomasville. We've been keeping an eye on them. They're playing really good this year. So shout out to them on having a fantastic regular season. Can't wait to see this Thomasville team in the playoffs. They'll be at Clark County. Slocum and Geneva County shows to be a close game. It should look like it'll be a good matchup. JB Pennington at Weaver. That's a good game, man. Those two teams are right there in that region play. We'll go over here and look at that in a minute, see how all those are kind of lined up there, where they'll be playing in the playoffs. Let's see. Hoax Bluff and Randolph County. I think that's a great game. Those two old coaches, those guys, Coach Strange and Coach Roberts, those are two old school guys that definitely know what's going on and how to coach high school football. That'd be a good game to be at. If you're around here in the area and your team's, finished up, they're on a bye, and if you're not going to Donahoe with Cedar Bluff, or you're not going to be out at Spring Garden watching play Ramburn, or you're not going to be out here with me at Sandrock Whitesburg Christian, those are some good ones to pick from. But if you're down here in this area, if you think that, if you're asking if it's going to be a good game, yeah. Those two old guys are great coaches. They've won a lot of football games. Geraldine at Douglas. I think that's kind of up there in that region, kind of together, sort of up there in that area. I think it'll be a good game. Also, 4A matchups. Go through some of these. White Plains beat Cleveland County. I think that'll be a good matchup too. West Morgan's at Deshler, and West Morgan is favored. They're favored in that game. West Morgan is one in that region, and we'll get over there and start going through some of those region stuff. T.R. Miller plays W.S. Neal. T.R. Miller's favored by a lot, chose to be here. Let's see here. North Jackson at DAR. Madison Academy at Westminster Christian. The loser of that game, the way I understand it now, this stuff changes around some. The loser of that game, the game's going to be at Westminster. Probably be a game for Turkey County fans if you want to drive up towards Huntsville area. You're going to play one of these teams. You're going to play the loser of that team, and I think Anniston will play the winner. So far, I think. Don't kill me on that if I'm wrong. Let's see, Goshen at Strawn. I think that'll be a good one too. Be a good matchup. Fairview, a Good Hope. Boaz and Oneonta. Boy, Boaz is just – they've had a good year, man. Alexandria and Munford, that's going to be a good game. That's tonight. I think I talked to Coach Short earlier, so shout out to him and safe travels up there. Go up there and get him a Valley Dog. And here's some 5A. We don't have a lot of 5A around here, but Scottsboro and Mars Hill is going to lock up. And I know it's not, but it's still a game. And Coach Higgins at Mars Hill, they are Cadillacing. Trust me, he's going to want to – they're going to play to win. I think that'll be a fantastic matchup. And the game it's at Scottsboro's going to Mars Hill. That'd be a good game to be at. Jacksonville and Anniston, long-time game. That game's been rocking and rolling for a long time. I heard some guys say the other day, I think it was Mr. Holder, how many years, and that game's been a big game right there in that part of town. The kids know each other. They've played rec ball, basketball, and stuff together. So Jacksonville and Anniston, Jacksonville's favored by 3 in that game. And I know it's a 4 or 5A, but trust me, they're going to want to throw down. Etowah at Lincoln, I think that'll be a good one too. And A-Rab at Priceville. Shows A-Rab be favored by a good bit here. We'll roll on through here. Some other Southside's going to be at Pell City. Pell City's seem like they've come in later in the season here and adjusted some things. I think they said how'd that go? Somebody can comment and tell me they moved the tailback to quarterback, or the receiver to quarterback and the tailback to receiver. They moved some guys around, and hats off to coach for figuring that out and going on having just turn things around. Had a good season. Oxford at Florence. Oxford favored by 3 on that game. Let's see here. And 7A, lastly. Tuscaloosa County at Paul Bryant. Supposed to be a touchdown favored by Tuscaloosa County. So that's some matchups. 1 through 7A there. We'd like to talk about those some good games. I think they'll be good games. If I missed one of them, dude, there's a comment section. Bam, hit that right there and say, hey, man, here's another good game. We'll talk about it. Break it down with me. Come on here and talk. That's what I love to do. We talk about some high school football tonight. And then Sunday night, we'll come back on here and break down the winners. And I don't know what I just did right here. Well, I really messed it up. What did I do? Good Lord of mercy. Mercy, what did I do? Refresh the page here. I did something. Let's try this again. Okay. Starting at the top over here. It's for 1A. See, Region 6 and 8. Want to play a 4. So it appears right now most of these are going to be locked in. Valley Head, Coach Hammond and a bunch will travel way on down the road. That's the drive, guys. That's a great drive. Justin Little, what's up, homie? Good to see you on here, Coach. Defensive coach, guru, coaching up Sylvania now. Run into him. He was helping up Cedar Bluff. Great guy, great coach. Hope y'all are having a good season right now. And congrats to y'all, Coach Nelson and a bunch up there at Sylvania. Valley Head will go to Wadley. That's a drive, man. And once you turn right at that store or something, that's a drive. And that whole area right there, there's just like Randolph County, and there's just a lot of great football right through that area. Looks like Hubbardville will go to Meek. Victor Christian will be over here at Jason Howard Field, and the Fighting Ragsdales of Spring Garden Panthers, Region 8, number 1. And Addison will be at Berry. And then we're going to go down this bottom 2. These 8 teams here will kind of coalesce to make a semifinal run to meet these 2 different areas here. Cherokee at Lynn, and Appalachian is they're going to host Donahoe. Could be a good game. Pickens County, they're always going to be around. They just are. It's just the way it is. They're going to be at Heidelberg. Look for that to be a good game. What about Winterboro? What about them getting a host? Ragland's going to go to Winterboro. I like that. And some of the bigger names over here in the South that y'all guys know, and same teams. Cedar Bluff, we played Maplesville back years ago. McKenzie's in there. Sweetwater, there's another team. Won their first title in 77. And Leroy's in there. Landon, Elba, shout out Alvin Henderson. I'd love to have him on the show. I'd really like to give anybody knows Alvin or some of his family coaches, if you're on here and you know any connection with them at Elba, just shout out to the coaches and down there. And I just, kind of like we brought Beatty on, and I've had Cornejo on, just let them tell their story. He's a national ranked rusher, and he's right here in this state, right down there in South Alabama. I just want to tell his story and, kind of how he got there and brag on his teammates and stuff. And it's all about them. It's all about the kids, and just celebrate them. He's committed to Auburn right now, so I'd like to hear his story. So there's some prominent teams there in 1A. And let's see. Some other good matchups here. Now, this one, let's see. Who was that other? Let's go back over here. I guess, we went through that 2A Region 6. Looks like Southeastern will host Red Bay. Okay. Southeastern, guess will host Red Bay. Pleasant Valley, shout out Coach Nick's over there. Dude, that's awesome. Heard a lot of good stories about him, and Coach Short speaks highly of him. And they're going to get to host a playoff game. So, hey, that's great for the kids. They get over there and work hard. And first time ever, that's the way I understood it. Sellers will be up there at Pleasant Valley. Susan Moore's going to be at Winston County. I like this Winston County team, man. I mean, we watch, I look at scores all over, and a little bit of memory, what I have left for my older age, closer to 50 than I am 45, really. So I'm kind of right there. I think Winston County seem to be. We've seen them play in their games and they scores. They got a good team. So Susanmore looks like will be going there, but that's going to change because they're not the 4 in that region anymore. It would be Cold Springs would be up there. Cold Springs would go to Winston County. Now that this Tuscaloosa Academy is waiting to see who they host. I don't know how this is going to turn out. Cedar Bluff, Sandrock, North Sand, tie points. This team had to, because of this team forfeited these games, this team's going to miss these. Well, this team got a forfeit, and that's a win, so that's going to add the I don't know. I don't know how. All I can tell you is Sandrock, Cedar Bluff, you just go win. And that'll – players don't worry about this stuff. Let's let us and the coaches and the media will talk about this. Y'all just go play hard and play like it's your last game. Just it don't matter if just go out there and play hard. Decatur Heritage hosts Faulkville, Pisgah, Sockaliceville. They'll lock up there. Southeastern, we said they would host anyway, and they'll play that team from the Region 8, number 3. So Region 8, number 3 is Lexington. Yep. Okay, Lexington beat Southeastern. Let me go back to Peanut Gallery. So it's up over here. Send him a link. All right, we'll do it, homie. Invite. Copy. Go here. Find old Andrew over here. Powerhouse Sports. Oh, crud. Let's see here. Trying to find him on here. Come in here. Terry, what's up, Coach Stevens? How you doing, brother? Tori, Tater Chip Man, what's going on? Talbert, good to see you on here. Bun, yo, rascal, you. Where are you going? Where are you going, Bun? Where are you going Friday? Let me talk to Bun on here. All right, Andrew, it is in your hands, brother. Powerhouse Sport. Andrew Etheridge. Might get him to bounce in here in just a second. There he is. He'll be. Hey, if you want to know about South and what's going on down there, this man has a large crowd down there. He's got a big group of following. We're always glad to share and talk about the kids down there too. Here he is. Let me get my headphones here, Andrew. Go ahead, son. Breaker break 19. Come on back.
What's up?
What's going on, bro?
No, I heard you talk, and I heard you mention. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I'm trying to fix the screen. There you are. Powerhouse Sports. Andrew Etheridge on the line here. He's one of the other goats, man. We're trying to strive and achieve to be as big as these guys are down here. They got a big following down there. I always have a big group watching, and glad you come on, man. It's always good to see you.
Oh yeah, I heard you talking about the South a little bit, and I heard you mention Thomasville. Yeah. That's where I'm headed tonight. Actually, I'm headed to the backyard brawl between Thomasville and Clark County. My first one ever. And,
tell us about that matchup. I'd like to know more about the history of that. What's a little bit of the history of that?
It's like the 115th. Maybe I'm wrong. I've been in Jackson working all week, so people have been telling me about it. But I'm actually going to be calling the radio the first half with some of my buddies. He owns the radio station down here. And there's been a bunch of bad blood. I know last year was a close game. I want to say that was decided by no more than like 10 points, I believe. Yeah. But this year, I mean, the way Thomasville wasn't playing, obviously a big contender in 3A. I haven't seen Thomasville play all year. But I've asked a lot of people in Jackson, which, Jackson people don't like Thomasville. They hate each other. And I asked them how far they think they're going to go. And they said their defense is legit. They don't really have a pass game at Thomasville. It's kind of a run-heavy, pistol-type look. But Clark County, they're a huge contender in 2A. So I'm hoping it's a close game. But a lot of people are thinking it's going to be a blowout on Thomasville's side. But I guess we'll see.
Well, the papers always say a lot of things, and statisticians, they pick games and they make marks for bookies out in Vegas and, that kind of stuff. But when it all boils down, Andrew, me and you both know it's played on the grass.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like Thomasville's going to match up. They're going to host XL that very first round.
Yeah, that game's going to be interesting. I've seen XL play twice. Once against T.R. Miller at T.R. Miller for homecoming, which, anybody playing against T.R. Miller this year is like playing Jackson. I'm not going to say it's unfair, but their regions haven't been much competition for them. And when Miller played Reeltown, I told a lot of people that Reeltown game is a bigger win than people think for T.R. Miller because Reeltown is so dang good. Yep. Reeltown hasn't lost a game since they played T.R. Miller. So it's like, Reeltown's a really huge contender with Coosa Christian going out. Reeltown, I think it's 2A South is theirs to win, in my opinion, in the South anyway. And you might disagree with that. You might not. I don't know. But
no, absolutely. I agree. Yeah. Shoot, yeah. Yeah.
But I think Coosa Christian beating 5 this year, that kind of opened my eyes a little bit. But, Matt, I do want to tell you this. I know we talked about it, but I will be either at Cherokee County or at Fife round to the playoffs. So me and you get to meet up before then. Obviously, we got to eat or something like that. But I'll be up there in y'all's area, and we'd love to have y'all on again this year to help us talk about playoffs and whatnot.
Absolutely, man. You're always down here. You're always welcome here, Locker Room Sports. Zion Chapel will be playing Clark County. You was talking about them. That's who they get first round too. So, yeah, whenever, you got my number, bro. And is it Detroit coming with you or Floyd, or it's just going you rolling solo or what?
So it's me coming. So my girlfriend's family actually planned a vacation up there at Lake Wise and Center.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, listen, you got me at a bad time because it's playoffs. And I said, yes, because she supports, she loves Powerhouse, she loves getting into it. And I told her, I said, do you mind if we go either watch Fife or Cherokee County? Because me, it's probably going to be Fife because I always wanted to go watch Paul Benefit. I've always wanted to go to Fife, experience that atmosphere. But I told her, I said, I cannot be 30 minutes away and not go. It just can't happen. So she'll be with me, and we'll be up there watching. And they're probably one of our game of the weeks. I got sent both coaches' numbers if Fife and Gordo meet you up. So I'll try to have them on and try to have y'all on as well so y'all can help me out a little bit.
Yeah, we're always good for that. I was fixing to go to. I was fixing to look at 3A. Local team here, Collinsville, will be over at Piedmont. Piedmont is rocking and rolling. Coach Miller has done a great job over there. Lauderdale County hosts Venomant. Fife, so right now, we don't know, and I got a parent on here that's kid plays at JB Pennington, and y'all can share more. That Region 6-4 spot, it's kind of, I think they're playing for it tonight or tomorrow night. There's games tonight, and there's some more tomorrow night, but that's who's going to host Fife. Fife being number 1 there in that Region 8. Gordo hosts Rogers. I like that one. And Colbert County. Sylvania, shout out again, Coach Little. They may be playing Walter Welborn. That's going to be up for grabs still tomorrow night. We still have some games. And Coach Higgins from Mars Hill, that's going to be a good one. And, of course, Coach Michael Smith, they'll be traveling to Locust Fort. Have you ever met Coach Higgins from Mars Hill?
I'm going to tell you, I've not met – I've seen coaches on our show. We've got coaches to talk to us. But as far as in person, I have met no coaches above – Moody or around that. Jake Gannis is the only coach up north I have met in person.
Well, Coach Higgins is one. His story, like he rode like semi-pro. He did some semi-pro boxing, boxed butterbean, some kind of exhibition thing. He rode bulls at one time. Yes, Coach Higgins has got a fantastic story. Starkey went up there and interviewed him about 2 years ago. He's got a great story, and I've seen him play 2 or 3 times. It's a program to look into for that 3A. They're laying really quiet right now. Nobody's really talking about them. We're the only ones that you seem like we're the only ones that kind of bring them up. But
I brought up Mars Hill on our show this year just because of what Mars Hill has done in the past, and also the fantastic facilities at Mars Hill. But I've mentioned Fife, Gordo, and Mars Hill in 3A all year, and correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm missing somebody, let me know. But it's just been those 3, and then obviously 4A. I miss Cherokee
Piedmont now. Piedmont's in that 3A now. See, Coach Miller's they're undefeated, so they're going to be one to look out for too.
And I would say, so do y'all cover Pleasant Grove at all?
No, I would love to see that place. I've seen pictures of their facilities. Good Lord, man, wow! Well, I'd love to go down there and tour that.
Because Coach LeBeau, me and him have talked. I've never actually been. I haven't seen Pleasant Grove play this year. I've seen them play in the past, they're in 5A, but they're a team that can match up with Jackson. I think it's the semifinals.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, and that's the team everybody's saying that might be able to beat Jackson this year, just because of their length and what they're able to do on the offensive side of the ball and defensive side of the ball. But I'm excited to see if Pleasant Grove can match up with them. I know they beat Bibb County to win the region. Bibb County matches up with outta first round, but it's going to be – there's a lot of exciting matchups.
Yeah.
Down here anyway. I know Florella, they go to Maplesville first round, and I'm going to tell you, a lot of people down here have said that Florella should be a double-digit favorite over Maplesville.
Wow. That's saying a lot. Now, we've played Maplesville, Cedar Bluff. We run into them back in the state championship game a couple of years ago. That's when they had the boy that went to Troy. He was their tailback. He wound up playing defensive back. That Pleasant Grove team, I've tried to keep an eye on them. They're going to host Strawn that first round, and sheesh, man, Jackson's going to have Bullitt County. Tell me something about. Do you know anything about the Glenwood Academy, that 3A team? Man, they are rolling.
So I actually talked to I talked to the Jackson coach today, and he has a lot of friends on that staff. And me and him were talking. I didn't know either, but I've seen highlights of them. And I asked him, why are they so good? He said they don't have a lot of depth. That's really the only thing that kind of hurts them is they only have about 3 or 4 key players, and one of them goes down, they might be in a little bit of trouble.
Okay, yeah, and depth is very important in very important in playoffs, especially this time of year. Man, everybody's got somebody hurt, so very, very important.
Well, I'm about to go in this gate right here. I got to show my pass and everything to him, but I was going to hop on with you for a second.
Yeah, man, always good to hear from you. Get up here, holler at me, and we'll get you fixed up.
Yeah, I will, man. I always appreciate it.
All right, bro. Have a good time.
You too.
All right. Well, that was kind of a surprise. Andrew Etheridge from Powerhouse Sports. He's spent a lot of time and put a lot of effort in there. And Floyd in Detroit, I know them. We used to go in there with them usually probably like next week or something. We start jumping in there maybe on a weeknight like tonight, maybe a Tuesday or Thursday or something. We'll jump in with them. And it kind of lets their fans down there know about some of the teams up here, and kind of lets our people up here know a little bit about what's going on down there, like some of this news, like Pleasant Grove, and how they match up, and how they down south are excited with this matchup with Jackson, and those types of just inside info stuff they know because they cover that down there in that area. So it's always good to have him on here. I appreciate that. Reaching out on that. Ben, what's up, brother? Yes, I know. Ain't that cool? It is. It is I would say it's probably a highly likely possibility. At one time, back a week or two ago, when these playoffs and stuff were kind of shaking out, it kind of had appeared that if Westbrook would have got in, it would have been strange for them they'd have got to go down there and play. He would have had to go up to 5 and play again. Coach Smith would have. That would just be strange, man. Like how the world turns. All right, back on here on 4A. These are, I don't know if it's even worth mentioning. There's so many games tonight and tomorrow night that's going to have this 4A North. A lot of games. The South is kind of locked in for 4A. Me and Andrew just went through some of them. St. Michael will host Hanley. Look for that to be a good game. And Bullitt County will go up to Jackson. Opp will be at Bibb County. And Tallahassee will host that Mobile Christian team is playing good right now. Oak Grove will be at Ashford. But over here in our neck of the woods, see right now it's got Madison Academy coming to Cherokee County. But like we said earlier, Cherokee County will get the loser of Madison Academy and Westminster. So, and I thought that the loser would play Anniston, and I was completely wrong. Looks like Anniston will go to Randolph, but that's not a lot because we're waiting on. Oh gosh! All right, let me just go into these are possibilities. Hamilton is going to be at Central Florence, maybe. Alexandria is locked in. They may be traveling to North Jackson. I may go over here this region, see what's going. Region 8 and 4A. Region 8 and 4A. 4A and Region 8. Let me go on down here. I try to help you guys out here. Y'all can help me out for Region 8. 4A, Region 8. We'll talk about it. 4A, Region. Okay. Well, North Jackson and Randolph of Huntsville in that Region 8 of 4A, they're both 6-1, and they're going to have to, let's see. Region 8. Let's see who's playing in that. So North Jackson and Randolph. North Jackson is at DAR, favored by a lot. So you can assume, picks don't mean nothing. Game's played on the field. You can assume that North Jackson would. The computer thinks North Jackson would win this game in Madison. Let's see. North Jackson. Another one was Randolph. They're favored by a lot at New Hope. Oh, God. So if they both win, good Lord of mercy. 4A Region 8. What's going to happen? They'll still be tied. Well, you'll have to go to the schedule and see if they've played. And then it'll just come to head-to-head, which North Jackson has. It has one more game. And once it goes down to like 3 or 4 levels of same amount of region wins and losses and same amount of points for out-of-region games, that stuff will start counting. Then I think they start counting like overall points. And as of now, Randolph has scored 282. North Jackson scored 259. So they give Randolph an edge. Oh, Lord, what a mess. So this is not – that's why I didn't name it the playoff, Polish Day playoff, which will be like next week. We can talk about that more next Thursday. Brooks, maybe Brooks. Door looks like they're locked in to host a game because they're number 2 over there in that Region 5. Okay, Region 5, number 1 is Good Hope. They may be playing Hatton. And Region 8, that number 2 we just talked about, that Randolph and North Jackson, they're locked in, man. So Anniston looks like you're probably going to play North Jackson or Randolph. That's just kind of how it looks like it's going to lay out. Looks like for sure locked in will be Fayette County traveling to West Morgan. And either Westminster or Madison Academy, the winner in that one will go to Hoax Bluff. So, gosh darn, man. Wow. We got a whole lot of stuff going in there. Let's see. What's that being? Good Hope will likely host Hatton for the first round. Okay. Jamie Pennington and Westbrook puts Pennington as a 3. Okay. There's a lot of stuff going on in some of these guys. Brandon, appreciate you and Ben and Brandon, because some of these guys have kids that play. Like when mine played, I kept up with it. I was very closely. So let me get these off. This thing's hot. Man, I appreciate Andrew coming by. I want to give a shout out, and I think they're going to be on tonight. I guess it'll be Floyd. You'll go over and check them out. They do. They have a lot of followers. They cover South Alabama high school, and I think Andrew's from the Panhandle part of Florida. They talk about some of those teams over there at the edge of Florida too. So, man, good gracious, that 4A is a darn mess. We went through some matchups, talked about some of the games coming up. Let's see. Here's the computer like here. Spring Garden at Rembrandt. Yep. Good luck to our Panthers over there. Finishing off with they could go 10-0. I think Coach Howard went 10-0 one other time. Somebody hit me in the comments. I think he got a 10-0 team. Wish Mark was on here. Mark Welch, where you at when I need you? I think they went 10-0. Somebody was Luke's junior year. I can't remember. Too old. Can't remember everything. Let's see here. Some other 1A interesting matchups. Wadley's open. Leroy's open. Hackleburg and Hooverville. Hackleburg is 9-0 at Hooverville 7-2. It's being from Cedar Bluff over here. I know that baseball wise, those two schools have they got good programs. Usually when you're good at something, one thing, you usually have good runs because these small schools, man, they have guys, their quarterbacks, usually their pitcher, their middle linebackers, usually their third baseman, your left tackle's usually your first base, your receivers usually outfield, your catcher's usually one of the other linebackers or something. And so it kind of all translates. So I think that's always a good game. Let's see here. A few more. We went through a lot of these matchups. Sylvania and Pisgah. Coach Little, saw him on there here earlier, stopped by. Good to see him. I know, Pisgah's going to be favored again. Coach Pruitt does a good job. And again, if you hadn't heard it before, the last 2 weeks, I've talked to parents from teams they played and said he was a class act guy. Not too proud to pull his guys at halftime, let his young guys play to match up with a team that's in a building spot, trying to get their program built back up. And he just put his young guys out there and let them play. And I've heard a lot of parents from other schools, and most of the time you don't hear good stuff anymore. It's just always bad. Somebody's a jerk or something. So shout out Coach Pruitt at Pisgah for doing what matters first. That's what we started the show with. Kids matter. That's what we do. That's why I like doing this. Give them a little highlight and talk about them. And that Real Talent Lee Scott Academy, a very interesting game. And we got to get JB on here. He's been tied up with work so much the past few weeks. He's been really busy. I tried to get him on last week. We got to get him on Sunday. He's very knowledgeable of that whole South area. He's a Real Town guy. And Lee Scott, I think it's a great game. And Andrew thought that, Real Town has a good shot to run through this thing, maybe get back down there. I don't disagree with that. I think most people could kind of assume that. Tuscaloosa Academy and Bayside, both 7-2. It's good matchups. That Mars Hill and Scottsboro, that's very interesting. Fife and Gordo are off. Winfield's off. Jackson's off. Pleasant Grove, Cherokee County. West Morgan at Dessler. I can't remember. I had to go back and look last year. That was what kind of game that was. But that's a good game. Those are two good teams, prominent teams for those areas. Catholic of Montgomery, they're off this week. Good gracious, man. Juice is they've won like 40 straight region games. It's it's crazy. The games that he's won over there. So how long have we been on? Oh, yeah, we've been on long enough. So we need to go home for JB Penny at Weaver. Yes, sir. And again, if you're just coming by and stopping in, I do appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button, share it on your page, hit the thumbs up on Facebook or the heart thing. We appreciate any kind of interaction. We couldn't do this without you guys, and we do it for you guys. I enjoy talking about our teams around here. And on Sunday, we'll do some of this and the college. Got some good college matchups this weekend. I went through about 3 or 4 games Tuesday. If you're interested in college, go back on the page. And we talk about the traveling test, A&M traveling up the coast to South Carolina. Coach Beamer, we'll talk about that. I did that Tuesday. But Western Kentucky, I think, do they play tonight? I think there's a game. Oh, Jacksonville State. Shout out to them. Go Gamecocks. Pretty much just handled Liberty most of the night. So shout out to our Gamecocks, Fear the Beak. And more news here. Not surprisingly, but a big congratulations. Shout out Coach Ricky Austin, Spring Garden girls, when they're back-to-back championships in volleyball. So now we will set forth here as a show here to start getting ready for a media day for the girls basketball around here in the county and boys and girls. We'll have an easy street like we usually do and have both schools up. And it's been, 10 minutes with them and let them talk about the season coming up and what they're looking forward to. And so that's something I'm going to be starting to work on here probably this coming week. We'll need to start working on it. We'll try to get a weekend date, like a Saturday, one Saturday when you kind of get everybody free and have a media day. Yes, you can send stars on there. That's like, I think it's 99 cents for a star, and it puts it in account. Once we reach a certain amount, we can, get the money. It's like $1 for every little star. Coach Short, what's up? He's up there at Alexandria. Taking some other news around here. Spring Garden girls won. Oh, Dodgers baseball, they just absolutely – that is trashed Yankees. In eras, it just shows that, doing the little things right is what matters. So I seen Coach, it was probably Coach Teddy over at Collinsville make a post there for Collinsville baseball and said that, hey, look, when your coaches ask you to do these drills, don't fuss about it because the little drills is what lost the Yankees the game. So heck yeah, man! Shout out to them at Collinsware, Coach Teddy and bunch. And we'll get off here. Let you guys enjoy your spooky Halloween night. Be safe out there with the kids and going to the parks and churches and that type of stuff. So y'all have a good time and be safe, and God bless you. And we'll see you Sunday night at 6 o'clock right here, Locker Room Sports. Thank you, guys.